Hello, everybody. I just thought I'd do a little update video. The last few days, I've been reading some other short stories and went back and read some of the old books that I used to like, from years ago. So some of them were from way long ago that I read and I really liked. And so I've been reading them and playing around with some of the storylines and stuff in those books, just kind of just writing them down and playing around, splicing things, coming up with different ideas and stuff on how to continue on with my storyline. That if anybody's read about it, I have a story called Child of the Machine Cohesive, and it was a local contest winner here in my local area. Not a big deal, but it was something. But so in my universe of science fiction that I'm writing, it's basically based on the game that I wrote from a few years back called The Rise and Fall of the Lean Confederacy. Lean being a play on the word alien. But anyway, um, so I want to continue writing in this particular storyline, this universe that I've created. So I went back and played around with some of these different stories that I really liked, and spliced them together, and then came up with this little paragraph that you see here that I'm going to start writing on. I'm going to start developing a new short story from this paragraph right here. And this title could change. I just threw that out there. So this is basically like a work pad that I'm working on. None of this stuff will be published, but I got a long ways to go before this is turned into a short story that's unique and that's mine. But I just wanted to show you how some of my creative processes worked. This is stuff that I learned from my writing instructor. That he is also a published writer. I'm not going to say who he is, but he did teach me a lot about how to write fiction. So I'm going to scroll up and show you how I started it. Okay, now there's a short story called Blood that I liked. It's in one of the books I bought, and I just jotted down a few of the main topics, some of the sentences and things, and just basically had a crude outline of that short story. And I scrolled down here, and then I condensed it to a single sentence or couple of single sentences. Just one single thought that the whole story was based upon. That's what this is here. And then I went and took another part of a short story, Jerusalem's Lot, from Stephen King, and I copied down a couple of the key words in some of the first part of that story, some of the key sentences and things, and then I condensed it. I condensed it into a simple couple sentences here, and then what I did was I spliced them. I spliced them together. Came up with this little sentence here where it kind of changed the story. So I spliced them together. And then there was a book that I read that I liked when I was a teenager called A Spell for Communion from Piers Anthony. And I did the same thing with that. I jotted down from the first chapter. I jotted down a lot of the key words and sentences and things, and then I condensed it down further into a couple sentences that seemed to stand out to me, and then I spliced it again with what I had already. So I spliced it again into this little group right here, into this little group of words. And then I took Isaac Asimov's Foundation, did the same thing, well, the first chapter, condensed it into a sentence here. And then I spliced them all together again, came up with this brief little sentence right here. And And then what I did is I added my own, worked it into my own storyline and changed it so that it's, unique and mine, so that I can get some ideas and stuff. This is how I come up with my ideas. I go back and I read other stuff, play around with it, and spice them with other stuff, and just mix it all up. Just mix it all up, and then when it looks like I got something that's unique, then I change it to where it's a whole different thing, where it's like um, where it's just completely altered. And because this is what it is, this is how you get ideas. You're not stealing somebody else's stuff. You're just seeing how they created what they have, and then you go back and do it for yourself. So this is how I do it. I can't speak for any other writers, but this is how I've learned to do it. So if you read this little paragraph here of what I have, I said I'll read it to you real quick. The probe was called Entity, and the discovery of subspace signals coming from a star called Able was undoubtedly the climax of Entity's search for advanced space traveling life forms. Subspace being dimensions of pure energy devoid of any material and ideal for instant communication between points of normal space, was evident of at least a race capable of speed of light travel. Entity detected no signals between Able and any other stars, and deduced that the inhabitants had not yet developed hyperspace travel. A race without hyperspace capability would have to endure years of travel between even the nearest inhabited systems. The first visual detection of Able was that of a hard white speck, all lost in a myriad of such, and Entity wondered if traveling there would really help their people defend against the parasitical solidarity that destroyed Entity's own kind so long ago. Entity reasoned that eventually the parasitical solidarity would discover the civilization of Able and consume it, but would Entity's presence and influence hasten such a fate or prevent it altogether? See, nothing in here could be deemed a plagiarism, because there's nothing here that would remind one or seem to think that somebody is writing or stealing a story from Stephen King's Jerusalem's Lot, because Stephen King's Jerusalem's Lot is about vampires. This had nothing to do with any kind of vampire, and or whatever horror thing he's writing about. Um, there's nothing in here that would put someone in mind of a spell for chameleon, because that's about magic stuff. Um, Piers Anthony's Foundation. There's nothing in here about other than the fact that it's science fiction. There's nothing in here that would make someone think that I'm plagiarizing anything from the Foundation series. And the short story Blood, there's nothing in there that would indicate that I'm plagiarizing anything from a story about a guy who's addicted to drinking blood and thinks he might be a vampire, which is what that short story was about. This is just about a probe called Entity that's discovered a a, a high-tech civilization that hasn't yet gone beyond their own solar system, and Entity is traveling there to help prepare them, hopefully to help prepare them for the eventual discovery of this enemy that destroyed his own people, its own people, the people that created it. So that's how I create my stuff. I go and research other writings and study them and dissect them, learn how to use what they've done to augment my own, and become a better writer. Well, anyway, I just thought I'd update my work in progress. Hopefully I'll have this thing completed and on my web page in a week or two. But anyway, so signing off. God bless everybody. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed the video.